Hello, my name is Arlene Tully, and I am the pastor of Arnold Mills United Methodist Church in Cumberland, Rhode Island. This is a continuation of our video series exploring different types of Christian prayer that we're calling Pray Always, Pray Always. Today I'd like to talk to you about Visio Divina. Visio Divina is a way of praying that's based on the ancient practice of Lectio Divina, which we explored in an earlier video. Lectio Divina is Latin for divine reading, and it describes a way of encountering God through the reading of Scripture. Visio Divina is Latin for divine seeing, and is basically Lectio Divina using images rather than words. Visio Divina is a prayer practice that allows us to encounter God's presence in what we see. It's not very familiar in Western Christianity, especially among Protestants, some of whom are very suspicious of praying with images. I suspect that might be a throwback to the Reformation, when iconoclasts stormed into Catholic churches and destroyed statues and paintings and stained glass windows because they regarded them as idolatrous, as graven images. But Eastern Christians, at least as far back as the 4th century, have used icons, those stylized portraits of Jesus and Mary and the apostles and the saints. They've used these icons as part of their prayer practices. I appreciate Visio Divina because it expands our experience of God. It expands the number of ways that we can experience God through prayer. I like the way Catherine Shirley puts it. She says, the richest prayer life comes through multisensory connection with God. We are each wired in different ways. Some of us respond best to the written word, some to the spoken word, some to music, some to art, some to movement. We can connect to God in prayer through each of these ways. Though we may have a preferred sense through which to pray, the richest prayer life will come through experiencing God through all your senses. So the steps that I use for Visio Divina are, well, first of all, to choose an image. I use paintings, which I almost always view online since I don't have easy access to an art gallery. I often use religious art, but not always. And you don't have to limit yourself to paintings, by the way. You can use any kind of visual art, photography or videography or any other kind of media. But I personally prefer paintings and prints. So begin by finding someplace quiet. Get comfortable and settled, breathe slowly and deeply, relax your body, and open your heart and mind to God. Invite God to open the eyes of your heart so that you can see what God has for you to see in that image. If the image is related to a particular biblical scene or story, then you might want to read that over before you begin. As you take your first look at the painting, let go of any preconceived notions about the image and keep an attitude of openness and wonder. Take a slow look at all of the aspects of the painting. Observe the forms, figures, colors, lines, textures, shapes. If there are characters in the image, take note of their body language, their facial expression. If there's more than one character, how are they relating to one another in the painting? How far apart are they? What seems to be the relationship between them? As you take in the image, pay attention to the thoughts and feelings that the image invokes for you. What captures your attention? What draws you in? What repels you? Do you find the image comforting, disturbing, confusing, peaceful, chaotic? If you're a journaler, You'll probably want to record your initial impressions. Then take a second, longer, deeper, more careful look at the painting and explore more fully your reaction to the image. Ask yourself questions like, what thoughts and feelings come up for me? Why? What is it about that image that stirs up those thoughts and feelings? Are there colors or shapes or symbols that mean something to me, that remind me of something or someone, that bring up a memory for me? Sit for a bit with your thoughts and feelings and reactions and ask God to give you clarity about what they mean. If you're a journaler, record whatever it is that arises for you, any insight or discernment that you receive. And then spend some time in prayer, asking if and how God is calling you to respond. Are you to respond with gratitude, confession, forgiveness, praise, some sort of action to be taken? And then finish by spending some time simply being with God in a spirit of openness and receptivity. If the image really spoke to you, you might want to learn more about the artist and some of the other works that the artist has done, or what art critics have to say about the image that you used. You might want to explore other artists from that same time period, or who paint in, or whatever medium it is, whoever used the same style of art as that person. You might want to look at other artwork that depicts, if you're using a piece of art that depicts a scene or story from the Bible, you might want to pick another work of art that depicts that same story or scene, and then sort of compare the similarities and differences between the two. You might want to plan to revisit this same piece of art a number of times. Just as when we revisit biblical texts, we get various levels of meaning each time. The same is true of artwork. If you want to learn more about Visio Divina, you can go to Amazon and do a search for Visio Divina, and you'll find quite a few books written on the topic. As far as finding artwork to use, you can Google online art gallery to find images. A couple of really good examples of websites are the National Gallery of Art, which you can find at nga.gov, or the Web Gallery of Art, wga.hu. Not only can you find thousands of pieces of art on both of those websites, but they also have viewers that have a zoom feature. So if there's a particular detail you'd like to check out more closely, you can do that. Again, I'll give you those websites a second time. The National Gallery of Art, nga.gov, and Web Gallery of Art, wga.hu. I hope that you'll give Visio Divina a try. As always, I invite any feedback, suggestions, questions. You can reach me at pastor.amumc@gmail.com, and I look forward to hearing from you. May your time of divine seeing be a blessing to you as you encounter God in art.